Hello and welcome to your today's online Pilates session. So we've got a little bit of a mix of Pilates and strength training for those larger muscle groups. I have a slightly aggravated SI joint, the joint between your hips, your pelvis, effectively, and your lowest part of your spine, responsible for all that weight transference as we go up and down, being the bear in our anaconda bear. So we're going to be doing things, we're going to keep the pelvis stable, because I just got cracked yesterday. So we're going to keep, thank you Steve, so we're going to keep the pelvis stable throughout this. So if you've got any kind of pain in that, either side of your spine, right, kind of as you join into your pelvis, this is an appropriate set of sequences of movements for you as well. Okay, let's just start with a little warm up. So just sit gently, leaning back on your hands. We're just going to do very gentle hip rolls, just side to side. Just starting to move. Let the body know we're here. Now don't go too far. If you're feeling any tweaks, guess who's feeling tweaks? God damn it. There's a 48-hour decorating marathon for my mum, which I was very happy to do. I do love to decorate. But I paint just with my right hand. I'm not an ambidextrous decorator, and so that's 48 hours up a ladder. Okay, feet together, knees out, just a little bit of gentle butterfly. That'll feel really nice. Lovely. Waken everything up. And then we're going to move into little half roll backs. So coming onto your mat, up nice and straight, make sure you're on those sit bones. Legs are engaged, shoulders are back in their pockets. We're going to take some half roll backs, just that mid-spine kind of area. So arms out like a ragdoll in front, breathe in. Up nice and tall. Tip your pelvis and start to curl back one bone at a time. You're going to go down to about kind of mid-back level, about here, and then you're going to curl all the way back up and high. Lovely. And then take a fold forward. So I only want you to go as far as you can before you reach that point where you're having to use a ton of effort, a ton of core strength to get back up. So it might just be here, and then you might find you're back up and you're forward. So we're just starting to work into that segmental spine control, warming things up, moving in ways we don't normally do day to day, but are so good for us. And fold. Let's do 3 more here. Ragdoll. You might find you're a little bit more awake, and you can go a little bit further back. And up. And fold. Breathe in. Exhale, tip the pelvis. And fold. Last one. And up. And fold. Okay, coming down to the back, we're going to do our series of 5. So we start with a series of 5, typically, sequence it, so we're going to do our core first. And this is different to strength training, where you typically train you do the harder thing that's going to take your most energy first. So as you can really focus on growing strength by using all your energy on the hardest thing first. With Pilates, we're not doing typical strength training. We're trying to activate the core. So we're going to activate it now. So you're going to make yourself aware that it's there before we move through our other exercises. So perfect partner for strength training. Pilates and strength training all day long, all the way down onto your mat. Okay, you're going to set a Pilates supine, what's up position. So heels are hip width apart, knees hip width apart, feet pointing forwards. Your heels are back. You might be able to touch the back of your heels with your hands. Your head is down on the mat, and just rock your pelvis backwards and forwards. until it settles into a nice neutral position. You're going to probably have a little gap there, a little lift at the bottom of your spine. Pull your belly button back as hard as you can all the way to your spine. Release it 2/3, so there's a little grip going on there. Zip up through the pelvic floor. Lovely. We're going to start with tabletop leg lifts and lowers. So you're going to lift one leg up, two legs up, belly button back to spine, right leg taps down, left leg taps down, both legs tap down. Right leg, left leg, and both legs. At any point, you can just do alternate legs. This is, of course, still a challenge. You can leave your legs on the floor and you can lift up and lower down, up and lower down. Or we can do the set that we're working towards, which is tap 1, tap 2, tap together. We're going to go for 8. Tap 1, 2, together. 1, 2, together. Just 2 more. Belly button back to spine. Keep that area nice and neutral. If you find your connection between your hip bones together, right, and your lowest rib left together, breaking. So if you find when your legs go down, your chest comes up like this, then you've broken that connection. If there was an invisible thread between the top of your hips and your lower rib, then revert to alternate tap downs. Last one, right, left, and together. Lovely. Both feet down. Reset that Pilates neutral position, rock your pelvis, hands go behind the head. We're not going to do crisscross, we're just going to take our elbow to our alternate knees. So it's another version of crisscross, but we're really going to focus on keeping this lower abdominal section nice and engaged. Belly button back to spine, zip up through the pelvic floor. Left elbow to right knee, pulse twice, and then down. And then the other side, pulse twice, and then down. 2. 3. Belly button back to spine. The lovely thing about Pilates is the speed. Not all of it, but some of it. We're going at a nice, slow, steady pace. But your lower abdominals are always engaged. We're bringing the obliques into play here as well now. I think this is 5. Keep your elbows nice and wide. Visualize that elbow coming towards that knee, but you're not using your shoulder to drive the activity. You're using all of your core to engage and lift. I think we have 3 more. Things are definitely waking up now. 1, 2, and this is our last one next. Not this one, the next one's our last one. Woo! 1, 1 more, 2. Well done, good job. Okay, coming up to seated. I'm going to do full rollbacks. So arms are forward, breathe in, exhale, and all the way back. Control that descent. Arms go overhead, breathe in. As you exhale, Depending on how you like to roll up, you might want to lift your knees up at this point. You're going to roll your arms forward, breathe in. Exhale, arms come forward. You're going to reach your forward for your thighs. You're going to use your thighs to help walk you back up. Legs go straight. Breathe in. Exhale. And all the way down. Arms go overhead. Bend the legs. Breathe in. Exhale. Arms come forward. Get a little bit of purchase on the back of your leg and just use it. We're using it in the same way we use the bands in the class. Up. Take a fold. Up. Exhale. Sink. Tip the pelvis. Unpack that spine. One bone at a time. Down onto the mat. Arms go overhead. Breathe in. Exhale. Arms come forward. If you want, you can keep your legs straight. Flex your feet. Push through your heels. Imagine a beam of light going across that back wall. Up and fold for 3. And sink. Arms come forward. Chin goes to chest. Peel the bones off the spine, off the mat rather. Don't peel your bones off your spine. Oh, fold forward. Up nice and tall. The tip here is really an important way to start the movement because you can unpack that low bit of the spine down first. Beam through the heels. And fold. We're going to do one more. Stretch up. Tip the pelvis. Unpack your spine like buttons on a cardigan all the way down. Breathe in. Exhale. One bone at a time. All the way up. And fold forward. Lovely. Coming back down onto the mat. We're just going to do a simple crunch up. I say just, there's never anything just in Pilates, but this is a nice one. Way down, heels back, in Pilates neutral, hands behind head. We did the side to side one before, now we're going to go straight up. Belly button back to spine, zip up through the pelvic floor, so all of that area engages to lift you up. 2 pulses at the top and then all the way back down. Your shoulders are not doing any of the work. You can feel a little triangle of power down here that's lifting you up. Engage, lift, zip up through the pelvic floor. 2 little pulses at the top. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Last one. 8. And down. Hug your knees in. Both feet go to the sky. If, like me, tight hamstrings, they don't go that straight. You're going to hold behind your left knee. You're going to lower your right leg to the floor. Not all the way down, it's going to hover a little bit off the ground. And if you like, you can curl your head up off the floor, belly button back to spine, squeeze that left leg towards you twice, and switch. For 1. For 2. Now we can have this, we can do bent legs, so just switch and tap. That's also quite crunchy. Whatever we feel like we've got in us today. 4. 5. Going to go for 8. 6. 7. Last one, 8. And down. Hug your knees in And let's release a little bit, so just roll your knees round in a circle. And lock that core. And for me, massage that lower back as well. And then roll the other way. Lovely. Nice. Okay, we're going to go into some bridges, a little bridge sequence. Place both feet down on the mat. Okay, so reset your Pilates supine. Heels are close to your butt. Knees pointing to the ceiling, they're not flopping around. Feet are hip width apart. You're down on the mat. Rock your pelvis backwards and forwards. Get that nice neutral position. Set the neutral. Arms by your side. Breathe in to prepare. As you exhale, push into your feet. Tip your pelvis towards you, and you're going to peel your back up off the mat all the way till you're up onto your shoulders, top of the bridge. 2 little squeezes of the glutes at the top. Breathe in, exhale, and all the way down, one bone at a time. When you got to the bottom there, your pelvis is going to release. Breathe in, push into your feet, curl your pelvis towards you, squeeze your glute, so we're using that glute to go all the way up. 2 squeezes at the top. Breathe in, exhale and reverse. One bone at a time. Breathe in, push into the feet, tip the pelvis towards you, climb all the way up to the top. Squeeze, breathe in, exhale, unpack that spine, breathe in, exhale, push into the feet, curl the pelvis towards you, climb all the way up, feel your bones coming off that mat in order. Lovely control. 2 squeezes at the top, breathe in, exhale and descend. Unpack the top of your back, unpack the middle, unpack the lower, rock and release. We're going to bring our arms with us this time now, so as we go up and over, our arms are going to come up with us. So breathe in to prepare, exhale, push into those feet, tip the pelvis, and as you curl up, bring your arms with you. Get a nice bit of control of that spine. They go all the way overhead if you feel like taking them there. Breathe in, 2 squeezes, and all the way back. Take them with you. This really helps with that precision and control. You're a little bit less stable now, so we're putting a bit more work through our whole pelvis area to control it. Breathe in, exhale. You have a narrower base because you're lifting your arms, so your shoulders aren't down, the edges of your shoulders aren't down to control you. All the way back. 2 squeezes, breathe in. Exhale and the other way. For 2. Breathe in. Exhale. Two squeezes at the top. Breathe in. Bring the arms back with you. All the way down and rock and release. This time come up onto your toes. So we're going to get a little bit more height. We're going to leave our arms by the side. So you're up on those toes. Check that you're in neutral. It's going to feel slightly different because you've got a bit more of a force pushing back. So my low back is on the mat now. Breathe in. As you exhale, push into the balls of those feet, tip the pelvis towards you, and you're going to go up a little bit higher. Push into the back of your arms, help you stay nice and stable. At the top, 2 squeezes. 1, 2, breathe in. And exhale. Take a little bit longer to unpack that spine with the extra height. All the way down. Feels really nice for that bottom spinal section. Rock and release, breathe in. Exhale and tip. Push equally into those feet. Push into the backs of your arms, push into your hands. 2 squeezes at the top, 1, 2. It's a very active move. Breathe in. Exhale. All the way down. We've just got 2 more of these. Breathe in. Exhale, tip your pelvis towards you. Push into the balls of your feet. Start curling up all the way onto your shoulders. Right up to the top, 2 squeezes. And then all the way down. Lovely. 1 bone at a time. And then we've just got 1 more. Breathe in. Exhale, tip your pelvis towards you, all the way up. Right up high, you're right onto those shoulder blades. Last 2 squeezes. And all the way back the other way. Lovely. Unpack those bones onto the mat. Rock and release. Hug your knees in again for a nice release. Well done, good job. Okay. Oh, well, we're going to go on to leg circles. Now, we don't have bands or balls. This is a full, just using our bodies today. So, if you put your right leg to the sky, instead of putting your left leg down on the floor, sometimes we do this for my Cherry Garden Lane crew, we'll be doing this in class with a band. We're going to lift that left leg slightly off the floor and just have that right leg pointing to the ceiling. So that's going to help give us a nice stable base. We're going to take 5 small circles. So in terms of precision, we're just thinking about the hip moving in that hip socket. So it's not a knee moving, it's not a knee joint exercise, it's the hip. On this side, it's just the hip moving in that socket and circulating around that joint. So we're slightly unlocking that SI joint as well. I say the SI joint doesn't move that much itself, a little bit of gliding, but this is really nice for it. So take 5 small circles in any direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then take 5 circles the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're just going to lower the heel to the floor. Take it down and then squeeze it up. 1, down and squeeze it up for 2. Flex the foot, paint down. 3, flex, paint up. 4, last one, 5. Place your left leg down on the floor, lower it down. You're going to take that left leg just ever so slightly over, bit of a windscreen wipe, and back, ever so slightly, just a little bit beyond that midline, and back. And this is for me, so if you feel like you can go further and lift the pelvis, lift the pelvis. I'm just working the muscles around the SI joint. I got a little bit more range of motion from my session with Steve yesterday, but not sufficient to do a full windscreen wiper over and back. 3, 4, last one, and 5. Okay, hug knees in. We'll do the other leg. So left leg to the sky, right leg stays bent. 5 small circles, so let's go. 2. Just think about moving the hip in that socket. 4, 5, and then 5 small circles the other way. 1, 2, belly button back to spine. 3, 4, relax your neck, relax your shoulders. 5. Okay, we're going to do our leg drops now. So point, flex back up, oh, wrong way around, flex to start, flex down, point lift for 2, flex down, belly button back to spine for 3, flex down for 4, last one, flex down for 5, lovely. Drop the right leg down, lower that knee, you're going to go across and back. So on this left side I have no joint issues, so my range of motion is a lot more for me. So just go to wherever your range of motion feels like, just gently unlocking and working with things. 3, belly button back to spine, 4, last one, oh, that one went a little bit too far, under control, for 5. Knees to chest will roll around. The lovely thing about Pilates is that we're trying to be under control. So we're trying to harness the range of motion and not let the weight of our limbs act as levers and go out of our control. And that's where all the work happens. Try and stay under control. Roll those knees. Lovely. Okay, coming onto all fours, we're going to do a little sequence of a bird dog, plank and leg lifts. So because we're in a stable position, we're on all fours, this is good, perfectly fine for low back. We're not transferring weight and chucking ourselves around. So we're going to start with a high plank and we're just going to hold it for about 8 seconds. So knees are on the floor, hands are underneath your shoulders, nice and firm, and you're going to lift up, feet scooch back a little bit. Make sure your hips and your shoulders are all in alignment. Push through the heels of your hands, so we don't want any kind of any dipping in the middle, so you're fully engaged with the mat, and breathe. 1, 1 more breath. Knees come down. Re-establish your knees underneath your shoulder blades. We're going to take little bird dogs. So your left arm and your right leg are going to stretch away. 1. And then the other side. I'm going to do 5 of these. So imagine a tray of Maltesers on your back. You don't want any to roll off. Perfectly spherical, very rolly Maltesers. So at the point you place your hands down, engage the non-lifting knee and the non-lifting hand, so you can just float those other limbs off the ground. 2 more either side. And plant them down. Keep everything still. Stable. We are unstable creatures. I know I say this a lot. We are unstable creatures. So your different length limbs, different strength muscles. What you're aiming to do is control, because you can never be completely stable, but control any movement as much as we can. And we're going to do little leg lifts. So send your right leg back long, and you're just going to lift for 1. Make sure there's no arching in your back, so you're keeping your back and your pelvis nicely in alignment, head is nice and long, eyes are looking just over the end of your mat if you're on your mat. So your leg is just moving at that joint. 2, 3, into that glute. 4, bit of hamstring work there as well. 5, belly button back to spine. Zip up through your pelvic floor. 6, 7, 8. 8 little pulses at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Place that knee down. We're going to do our other side now. Left leg back long. Toes tap the ground. Lift and lower for 1. Lift and lower for 2. So at the point of the lift, don't let the arch happen. Make sure it just goes into that glute. For 3, 4. Just check your weight is equal between your hands. 5. I was just noticing I had a bit of a lean on there. 6. Belly button back to spine. 7, 8, and 8 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plant the knee down. Wiggle back into a child's pose. Send your hands forward. Good work. Okay, we're going to go back into our planks and we'll repeat this series. Hands on the mat. Nice steady tabletop position. Lift up, walk the feet back. Lower your hips, make sure you're nice and square. Push into the heels of your hands, push into those toes, engage those hamstrings, squeeze those glutes, belly button back to spine, a really strong plank, and breathe. At any point you can put your knees down. One more breath if you're still there. Knees down, lovely. Our bird dog, 5 on each side. So make sure you're in a stable position. Knees underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders. Engage your right hand into the mat, left knee into the mat. Lift your left hand and right knee. Squeeze them away. Place back down. Squeeze them away. Get a nice length. Place them back down. Belly button back to spine for 1. For 2. Nice stretch. It's all about control, so you can't do this quickly. You need to plant, you need to transfer the weight before you lift and stretch. So plant, transfer the weight onto the non-lifting hand and knee, lift and stretch away long. Plant, lift and stretch. Plant, transfer your weight. Belly button back to spine, zip up through that pelvic floor, lift and stretch. And then 1 more each side. Plant, weight transfer, lift and stretch. Plant, weight transfer, lift and stretch. Shoulders are getting a little bit tired now, you can be feeling the same. We are doing good work, team. Right leg away long. Make sure your weight is even in your hands. You're in a tabletop position even though your leg is back. And then we're going to lift and lower. Belly button back to spine, engage the glute, lift and tap. 1, 2, belly button back to spine, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knee comes in. Reset. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, belly button back towards spine. Left leg back away long. And lift. 1 and tap down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Check your weight between your hands. 6. I've got a lean on again. It's because I'm protecting that joint so I can see myself going over here. So try and balance it out. 6, 7, 8, then 8 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knee comes in, back into a child's pose. So sink, take your forehead down to the mat if you want. Wriggle back, you can scoot your fingers forward a little bit more. Deep breath in. Okay, come to lying on your front. We're going to do little Superman push-ups. Not going to forget our arms and all of this, so we were working our shoulders quite hard just then. So coming down, little Superman lifts. So we can do these on our knees, of course. I'll just do a little demonstration. So belly button back to spine, you're going to do a little lift. I'm only doing a small one because I've got slightly aggravated low back. So a little lift, plant hands, leave knees, push up and down. Little Superman lift, plant. If you want, you can plant your feet, plant your hands, and you can do a full lift up and a down, or little Superman lift, knees down and drive. For 3, little lift. For 4, little lift. So make sure your butt and your shoulders come up in one line, like a plank from your knees. So you're not going up and down like this. Your hips are forward. 4 more. 1, belly button back to spine. 2. 3. And last one before we stretch. And 4. Lovely. Wriggle that out. Come down onto your back. We're going to do a little stretch into our glutes. So right foot, left foot rather, over right knee. Hands go through. Hold the back. Your elbow goes onto your inside of your knee. And take a deep breath. You're stretching the glute. Pull that knee in towards you. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. And then transfer the other side. Foot goes across the knee. Leg is in a right angle. Reach your hands through. Elbows on the back of that knee. Breathe. So the stretch is in the glute of the bent leg. Breathe. Last one, breathe. And then coming up to a seated position. Okay, loosely cross-legged. Or your feet can be out, however you feel like doing it. We're doing twists. We're just going to loosen off our shoulders a little bit. So, arm to the sky, onto the opposite knee. Arm goes behind you and you're looking up over your shoulder to the corner of the room. And you're going to rotate that back shoulder forward 5 times, 5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a big gesture. Lift that back arm up, place it down, place that one behind you. Twist upwards, so you twist each piece of the spine upwards towards the ceiling rather than kind of twisting in a crunch position. Corkscrew upwards, shoulder forward 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shake it off, arms together, push forwards. Round out through the back, and then the other way, same the chest high, push your hands back into the mat. Well done. You are released back to your week.